best boxing, honestly, is probably in the biggest division. So I know she's made like obviously ranked in the top 10 winning fights. So but I think it's just very beautiful. I love the style matchup. It's really confident going into this fight and really strong and look good. So I don't see any reason why I see myself like winning this fight.
I know your focus is on the fight this weekend, but how exciting is it to get a big role for you?
That's really cool. Yeah, you know, it's like kind of on the back burner since I've been training for this fight, but as soon as the fight's over, it's going to become my focus to prepare for that.
What can you tell us about your character? Is she a lot like you in the movie?
Kind of. She's a little bit more hard, I suppose. She's a little bit in the streets and kind of like more of that like tough, raw mentality. But I mean, close enough to where I think that it's like it's going to have to be able to fit into that role. Really cool.
When you start shooting?
End of August.
Cyborg is also
from what I understand, yes. Yeah.
Do you guys have any relationship? I know we were talking about maybe facing her in a short competition, but like, you guys get along?
No, we get along great. You know, she's always been nothing but sweet to me and anyone I've ever seen her interact with. So I think Cyborg is a really nice person, and she's awesome. You know, I have a ton of respect for her. You know, so if I didn't have respect for her, you know, there's no way I would even consider a fight with her. You know, but one of the best ever. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Can you talk a little bit about your training to do that as well for this game?
Yeah, I brought Judy Yankovic out for a little bit to just have like a boxing sparring partner just for striking. You know, she's a 6-time defending world champion, and she's got really fast hands, good heavy minutes. Sort of a similar style to I as far as that goes. So I felt like for the boxing sparring, she was definitely a good partner. You've been on top before, you know, but it's been able to be a champion. Judy won the belt, so I think that here as well.
I definitely miss you again. Maybe the strike.
Very motivated and
they were okay. So you guys best friends.
It's a really big fight opportunity, and it's a potential preliminary fight, so it's going to be...
How do you kind of put it now with facing the same champion, with fighting Rousey again, if you have this in the future? Is it the same face, the same circumstances, the same 12 weeks later? Just getting back to the picture.
I feel like it's good, you know, because I feel like I adjusted the situation better than and I think that, you know, if anybody's going to beat Ronda, I feel like it's going to be me. So, I feel like I need to get past this fight, and I need to have a strong finish. Have a strong momentum going forward. But, you know, before I talk too much about Ronda, I need to go up on Saturday and prove it. I would stay focused on Jessica. Mistake on my part, knowing that if I underestimating what I want to do. Jessica, she's got to have my full attention until after that.
Those have like a kind of a bad blood situation. How do you see the bad blood between her and this match?
Well, I'm very shocked that I've been demoted to the #2 slot, most hated on Rousey's list. So, you know, I gotta hand it to Beck. I mean, she really has her work cut out for her, and that is a hard thing to accomplish. So, yeah, I mean, I think that she's in a little bit over her head in this fight, but we'll see what happens.
Do you think she deserves the title?
I mean, she's undefeated. She's won all of her fights in the UFC, but it's not that she doesn't deserve it, but it's just that I think it's just a really big jump in competition. You know what I mean? But it's like, you know, Ronda was beating everyone else, so it's like, hey, you know, she's next in line. She's got a 9-0 perfect record and won all of her fights in the UFC, so it's like, yeah, you know, it makes sense, but again, you know, she hasn't beaten anyone in the top 10 or anyone that I would consider close to Ronda's caliber. So, you know, the 9-0 record looks great on paper, but when you really talk about skill set versus skill set, you know, I think that Ronda's in a entirely different place.
How do you think one third fight is with you and Ronda?
It's going to be different because I feel like I learned so much in that last fight about striking abilities and the fact well. Like she doesn't like taking it, so you know it was a big mistake for me to shoot in and try to get those takedowns. You know, the idea was that you know she's on her back, like she's never armbarred anyone who's there. You know, she has phenomenal you know submission skills from the top. You know, being judo and people land on top of the armbar, but it was still like not a good. Didn't work out, and I needed to like adjust the middle of the fight, and I didn't make that happen. But I think I have something that no one else has proven to have. You know, making it to the third round with Ronda, escaping any of Ronda's armbars. I think I escaped like 4 or 5 of them before I actually got caught. So, you know, those are things that no one else is doing. Everyone else has like gotten caught for the first one and just tries to. So it's like, you know, hey, you know, I gotta give myself a little bit of credit, but I think I can do a lot better, and I want the opportunity.
You were in Chicago to be pressed a couple of years ago. Where's the things about the city?
Man, I love the city. Like we were driving through the outskirts of it because there's so much traffic when I landed. I landed like 5 or 6 o'clock traffic, and it's so interesting to me how the outside of it seems like a small city that just like goes forever, like a small town. Like there's a lot of little mom and pop shops, there's a lot of little houses, a lot of little townhouses, and I just love that feel about it. And then you get to the center of it, and there's just huge buildings. There's so many beautiful things to see. And not only did I win my world title here, you know, a few years ago at Strikeforce, it's like I have a lot of good energy, but they have one of my favorite, like probably my favorite bakery of all time. And I discovered that, like I said, when I won that world title. So when I found out I was fighting in Chicago, I was like really excited just to go back to the bakery. So it's Molly's, if you guys are, anyone is curious. They have like phenomenal. So I can't wait to go. That's gonna go be Sunday. I'll be there. Probably like hanging out, like in the bakery all day, like stuffing my face.
Does the weather affect you in Chicago being here too?
No, I mean this is really humid in here, but outside of it's really hot in here. So it actually has been really overcast.
And you mentioned a little bit about your sort of final run. Do you feel it in your body? Do you want to just kind of move on for once a woman, not a fighter? Sort of like the girl stuff and just enjoy your life and training camps? What do you think, Sarah?
Well, no, it's just, you know, it's just a matter of time. You know, I'm going to be 29 in August. I've been doing this for 10 years, and even though I don't feel like, you know, I'm trying to yet, it's, you know, but it's right around the corner. It's not like my son. You know, spring chicken in this industry anymore. So, I mean, miles on a car is miles on a car. You know, the car is only 2 years old, which has 200,000 miles on it. It's like, okay, you know, it's like a well-used car. Well, I kind of feel like, you know, I've been in this sport for a long time, and the wrestling so it's needed a lot of wear and tear. There will eventually come time, and it doesn't make sense for me to fight anymore. So, you know, that is definitely what's something I'm thinking about, and I feel like it's an urgency to accomplish this goal.
Does this get you any more pressure? The sense of urgency?
Yeah, like I always use the word pressure because for me, I know pressure has a negative connotation. It's a bad thing, pressure. So it's not pressure, it's just like motivation. That's the way I always like use the word pressure for motivation. It adds more like motivation to like, hey, how's it going? Gotta do this. You're like
You talked about, you know, wanting to have a really solid performance, possibly get a finish. Does just getting out of here with a win on Saturday, does that do the same thing for you that you wanted to do, or you have to have a finish?
The win is great, you know, a win is always a win. It's a W on your record, but I feel like for me, like mentally and emotionally and physically, like I want to get the finish for myself. That's important to me. I don't know if it's important to the UFC, I don't know if it's important to the fans, I don't know if getting a finish versus not getting a finish is going to change anything. You know, if a win is a win, I don't know, but for my own personal vendetta, my own goals, I want that win and I want to make a statement.
That's just from having 3 decisions in a row, basically.
Yeah,
you want to get back to that game?
Yeah, I mean, they're all really tough girls, but it's, you know I have the finishing ability, and I know that there was times in these fights when I could have gone for the finish, and I decided not to. I was like, hey, you know, I'm on top of this, keep on winning. Why am I going to try to choke her, you know? And it's like, hey, you know, I should have gone for it. I should have finished it. And so this whole camp, my mentality for training was like to finish my training partners, not just, you know, ride the rounds out, not just control position, but to it's like, I mean, even when you're dead dog tired and you're sparring in your fourth and fifth round, sometimes the last thing you want to do is submit the person, because then you have to get back up and start all over again, and it's back to neutral. Where it's like you're on top of the person, you're like, hey, I'm just gonna stay here, I'm good, I worked really hard for this. But it's like I really pushed myself to make sure that, you know, whenever I was in those positions with a potential ability to finish, that I was finishing. So I was in that mindset in my whole training camp. And that's, you know, that's an adjustment that I've made that I never really focused on before. You know, it's like, oh, well, here I am, the finish is there, but I'm in a great position, you know, let's you know, work from here. And this fight was all about finishing.
Was there something going on that made you not want to go for it in those other fights, or?
Well, I mean, it's, so the McMahon fight, obviously, you know, I had the broken orbital bone, and I sustained a lot of damage in that first round. Cutting out my bell rung a lot, and even when I was on top of her, I knew it was kind of close, but I was like, you know, I know that I'm controlling this entire round, and if I go for the finish and I make one mistake and she spends the last minute on top, or she spends the last 30 seconds on top, let's say go for the armbar, she happens to get out, she's an explosive athlete, one mistake, like, is that going to cost me at the end of the round? And the judge can say, well, I think she stole that round, you know, so it's kind of thinking about that, like, I know I lost the first round, you know, I know I won the second round, I'm winning the third round, like, if I just keep doing damage in the way that she did in this fight, like, I take that risk going for the finish and, you know, something crazy happens and I get out of this great position I'm in, and, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm kind of calculating that in my head.
All good. Thanks, everybody.